I'm sure you're familiar with brands like Hisense, TCL, and Vizio, all better known for their lower to upper mid-tier TVs than their high-end models. They make them, but it's off most people's radars. Now, a few months ago, TCL released specifically a batch of QM8 quantum dot mini LED TVs like this one, basically LCD panels with very advanced LED backlighting that bring them nearly on equal ground with some of Samsung's and Sony's best and more expensive OLEDs out there. And with holiday shopping coming up, guys, this kind of revelation is worth a deeper look, don't you think? TCL Q-Class QM8 retails for $2,000 for this 65-inch model, all the way up to $10,000 for the 98-incher. And if you've got the cash to burn and the space to put it, they have a range-topping 115-inch unit for, get this, $27,000. That's more than a base model Honda Civic. Thankfully, most models can be found for under $2,000 nowadays on Amazon. The brains behind it all is an AIPQ Pro processor controlling the 3840 by 2160 panel with 2900 mini LED backlit zones, among other things. Google TV is the operating system. Refresh rate is 120Hz natively, but achieves 144Hz through variable refresh rate technology, so not true 144. There are two left-right and two upward firing speakers plus a rear firing subwoofer tuned by Onkyo with a total rating of 80 watts. There's Dolby Atmos, Dolby Digital Plus, and PCM processing support. Bezels are impressively thin. For example, with this 65-inch TV, there's 64.5 inches of viewing area. Besides the power port that's on the left of the panel when viewed from the front, I/O ports are on the right, including 4 HDMI ports, one of which is eARC, while another supports 144Hz VRR. There's also an Ethernet port, 2 USB 2s and 1 USB 3s, and a SPDIF. For wireless connectivity, there's Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, and at the bottom of the unit, under the TCL logo, there's a universal control button that power cycles the TV and navigates the menu. And next to that is a physical switch to disable the onboard mic used for voice commands. How did TCL get blacks and HDR this good for the price? For example, watching an intentionally underlit movie like The Batman really shows how well the QM8 contrasts brighter main subjects against shadowy backgrounds, all the while keeping things like blooming, aka any kind of haloing around said main subjects, under control. It also demonstrates very good grayscaling and tone control when viewing scenes that range between Dune 2's rolling desertscapes and dark caverns, and also Maverick going full tilt with his students at the Top Gun School of Scientology. Yeah, once you're in, you can't get out. Anyways, the QM8 at 2200 nits for HDR content is the brightest panel out there compared to brands like Sony and Samsung and even Hisense. Upscaling is good enough, I suppose. When sourcing, say, 1080p video, the picture is fine, except for some over-smoothing of certain textures like skin and fabric. Now, the biggest weakness of the panel is its narrow viewing angles. You stray too far to either side and colors begin to wash out some, which means it won't do well being placed in the middle of a long rectangular room with viewers on both ends. Place it in a small to medium-sized square space and you should be fine though. I don't prefer these non-customizable preset buttons for Hulu, Netflix, and all of that on remotes nowadays. Such a waste of space, right? But aside from that, the remote is a joy to use, guys. Auto illumination is quick, voice control is fast, button presses are not squishy but smooth and solid. It's not a battery hog and well balanced in the hand as well. The 144Hz refresh rate via VRR, vibrant colors, and also respectably low input lag, 15 milliseconds based on my arbitrary testing. This television set, when connected to a Series X, PS5, or PC, is almost perfect for gaming, guys. And I wish all the HDMI ports were 144Hz instead of just one, but nonetheless, with my RTX powered PC connected to it, playing Forza or Ghosts of Tsushima is quite the visual treat. Talk about impressive feature to price ratio, guys. Thin but not too thin design. I don't like them too skinny because it makes those things like so flexy when you try to move them around. Convincingly good materials, image quality a tier or two above its price range, sufficient ports, nice quality TV stand, high refresh rates, fast Google TV experience, good remote. Is there anything I forgot to mention here yet? Credit where credit is due. The built-in Onkyo Tune speakers are average rather than anemic. They won't do Atmos, of course, but SQ, in my opinion, is good enough, especially with the rear-firing subwoofer that helps to take low-frequency duties away from the forward-facing drivers. But at the end of the day, there's only so much speakers in a thin cross-section can do, so I'd still recommend getting a good sound system, or at the very least, a soundbar like this new Bose Smart Soundbar. Review of this coming soon. Sorry about the shameless plug. I'm not a fan of how a lot of TVs nowadays, the QM8 is no exception, that have all the ports on one side of the TV only. Like the ports on the TCL are all on the right side, so if you have to run cables coming from the other direction of the panel, then effectively you have to factor in an additional 4 to 5 feet of cable, at least. For example, in my situation with connecting my PC that's on this side of the room to the QM8 over there, I would have only needed 15 feet of fiber HDMI if there was an HDMI port on the left side. But in this case, I had to get a more expensive 20 footer in order to reach the other side. Yeah, first world problems in it. My goodness, 4K HDR content, gaming, sports, as an extended monitor, the TCL QM8, especially when it hits discounted prices, don't ever pay MSRP guys, is fantastic. It's a pity it doesn't come any smaller than 65 inches, but if you're going big screen and want something cheaper and in some areas better performing than the higher end competition, projectors included, then this probably is it. Well, that's all I got today, guys. Thank you so much for spending your precious time with me. Thanks to TCL for entrusting me with this unit to share with you guys. I know I'm not perfect by any means, nor I claim to be, but I hope this helps you with your research and your shopping needs and things like that, or just for fun. And if you'd like to see more content like this moving forward, you know what to do. Thumbs up this video, reshare this with your friends, and press the subscribe button down below. And remember to do something loving and kind for somebody in this world, guys, because guess what? If you haven't seen the news, the world needs it more than ever, and it starts with you. I love y'all very much. Peace out and God bless.